My name is Cameron Williams, and this guide is brought to you by Professional Computer Support. This series of guides will serve to help you learn how to use OneDrive and SharePoint. So let's just jump right in. For this video, we will just be talking about OneDrive, and the two things I want to cover is how to move data to OneDrive, as well as kind of just generally how to use it. Chances are we are in the process or have already moved your company data to SharePoint. Now, we've taken account of all corporate data stored on the server or perhaps some other cloud system. However, we have not manually moved your personal data, as that responsibility generally lies with you. So I will show you how to get logged in first. Assuming you're on a Windows 10 device, OneDrive is pre-installed. If you're on another operating system like Macintosh, you may need to go just Google download OneDrive and download it and set it up for yourself. There may be some compatibility issues with older Macs, but that's something we can cover separately. So for Windows 10, you just open up the Start menu and type OneDrive. It'll ask you to sign in. I'll go ahead and do so. Make sure you select Work or School. You will have problems if you use Personal. Go ahead and sign in. You can change the location if you'd like. I'm just going to continue on through these little informational steps and then say open the OneDrive folder. OneDrive is now syncing to this device. To get to OneDrive, just open File Explorer, click OneDrive, and here's all your stuff. You can open anything, download anything that you have in there. However, if this is your first time, it's probably empty. So the next thing to cover is essentially how to back up any personal data that you have on your current infrastructure. There's generally one of three camps. Either you currently have a server and you have a personal map drive on that server. Camp number two would be you have your data is already on some cloud system and you have a personal drive in that cloud system. And then finally, you just store your data on your device itself. And we will go over all three very quickly. So camp one, you'd store data on a personal drive on the server. Chances are it's somewhere under this PC, under the C drive, and there's a mapped drive. I don't have any on this computer, but you would just go to that location. I'm going to pretend that's the downloads location. You would just select any and all data you want in there, but I'm just going to select all. And then you just go find your OneDrive folder, and you drag all that data into your OneDrive folder, and it'll then start to upload. And you'll see the little icon down here will likely change to a sync icon, and you can always open it up and kind of watch stuff upload, but it should just handle it on its own. If it has any problems, it'll again give you that little red X as well as a pop-up. Camp number two, you already have a cloud infrastructure system, same thing, but instead of a map network drive, it's probably some other location like Dropbox. So you would just go to Dropbox. In this particular case, select anything that you want to have carried over and not have deleted, and move it over to OneDrive. Same method, just select all or select what you want and drag it into OneDrive. The final camp is essentially you store your data on your personal device, and assuming you store your data mostly in desktop, downloads, and pictures, which most people store them in those locations, the next thing I'm going to show is we'll cover both camps 1 and 2, as this feature will greatly help them, as well as handle your personal backup process. It's a service built into OneDrive called OneDrive Backup, and to get to it, if you just click OneDrive, the More button, Settings, and then the Backup tab. Essentially what this does is important PC folders back up my files in the desktop, documents, and pictures folder to OneDrive so that they're protected and available on other devices. Pretty straightforward. If you sign into OneDrive on multiple devices, it will kind of copy that data between all of the devices so that maybe you were at the office on your desktop and you were editing something, and then you go home on your laptop. That device will now also be on your home laptop, and you don't have to worry about emailing it to yourself or whatever. Anyways, I'm going to hit Manage Backup. Essentially, it's just going to pre-select these files. You don't have to worry too much about it. You can just hit Start Backup. There is a possibility that you might have some technical trouble with this step. If you do, please give our help desk a call, as there may have been a system in place that will cause some issues. But if you don't get, before hitting the Start Backup button, if you don't get any errors, which I'm not right now, there's a little info thing, but you'll get like a red X on one. If you don't get anything like that, just continue forward. If you do, you may need need to give us a call so we can remedy that situation. And you just hit start backup. And you can see I had done this on a different computer because some files just popped up, and I am now doing that on this device, so my desktop from that device is now syncing to this device. So I'm now backing up these 3 desktop documents and pictures folders so that if my computer dies for whatever reason, my data will be available still on the other devices and or in the cloud. Something I just want to reiterate, if you fell into one of those other two camps, whether you have your personal data on the server or in some other cloud system, you still want to do this backup step. But then for that third camp of people, this backup step kind of 2 birds, 1 stone. But anyways, that's the kind of basics on how to log in and use OneDrive. If you ever wanted to go online to access OneDrive, if you just go to office.com and click OneDrive, that same data is available here and fully interactable. You can open Word documents and Excel documents and edit them here. There's also a phone app, although, on a phone screen I wouldn't recommend trying to edit things, but go to town. Anyways, in the next video we'll be covering the kind of same level of information but for SharePoint, so stick around for the next video in the playlist. Thank you. If you need any help, here's our help desk information as well as my contact information. I will leave this up on the screen for a few seconds, and good luck.